Thanks for joining me today. I'm so excited that our 2024 CAS Benchmark Survey report has been released. Becky, you helped as we did some overhaul of the report and the survey this year, and I'm so excited to have you back to talk to as we now start to unpack the insights from the report.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
The top insight in the report this year was that once again, CAS growth is being reported by our survey respondents in the double digits, 17% to be exact. It's more than double any other report that we've seen about the profession. And while this insight is really exciting, I know that there are some other things that you're excited about too. What's another part of the report or another insight from the report that you see as being fairly significant for the CAS community and for your profession or your practice in particular?
So one of the things I noticed as we're going through that first draft is we see so much more niching happening in the data and the way people are reporting their practices, which is just a really exciting development as those groups mature.
You know, I think it is. As a matter of fact, the insight in the report is that defined client niches increase efficiency and profitability. We are seeing that the medians that were reported by our survey respondents is that about 50% of their current client revenue is coming from niched clients, and about 50% of their new client revenue is coming from niched clients. But for the firms that had that 50% or higher, they saw that their growth was higher at more like 20% instead of 17. They saw that their revenue is higher and their average billings per client are 51% higher than the all respondent group. Why do you think that niching, becomes such a part of a successful CAS practice?
I think the biggest piece that we're seeing is clients really want us to understand their specific business. And so that drives a lot of how we end up with our new clients and the way the growth happens in the practice. So when clients are looking for it, of course, we're going to always meet that need. But you also see just functional metrics inside the practice are so much better. It's the cost of acquisition is lower. Your ability to deliver at a much higher level is increased significantly. Reporting, standardization, all of those things that we love very much in an efficient CAS practice are much easier when you're working on the same type of client consistently.
You know, this morning we were in a different meeting together, and we talked about the fact that more and more practices are moving up that CAS spectrum of services, getting to more CFO level services and more of the business insights services. Right. How does niching impact the ability to deliver those higher level services and not just limit CAS practices to offering financial CAS or transactional accounting and controllership level services?
What we see is as you move your staff and your abilities as a practice up across that growth spectrum, it goes faster. It's easier to become that trusted advisor and that deep expert because there's less to learn practically. And so all of a sudden your clients see you in a much different light because you see enough of whatever's happening for them that you can say, this is what we know and what we can expect, and here's how you can react or how the market can support you. And so I think from a client service perspective, it's much easier to become that deep trusted expert when you just have a smaller breadth of things to learn and experiences to have to be in that place.
You know, and I think we just heard this in the DCPA keynote today, but the idea that clients really are looking for trusted advisors, and when you speak their language, you know their lingo,
right.
As part of that niche, that client industry. It really places the value in you as the CPA firm that can offer those trusted insights.
And it goes so much farther than just the financial information, right? We're talking about operations. We understand the revenue cycle. We understand the struggles they're having, all of those pieces, and they really are looking for someone who will share that kind of growth and innovation of their business with them as they go.
So this was just one of the insights that we saw, but it's such a foundational part of what we found in our CAS Benchmark Survey this year. Another one of the insights was that better strategy and investment around technology mean better productivity, better efficiency, and better staff satisfaction. But it's interesting to me that in our data, we actually did not see that many responding firms who said that they have a tech stack that they've built that is defined by client industry niches. Part of the CAS Benchmark Survey this year is commentary and next steps that firms can take to use the information from the benchmark survey to really move their practices forward. How do you think that firms can combine this idea of investment in technology and a client niche or a client industry that they're serving to really increase their CAS success?
Well, so much of what we see now is client operational systems are closely intertwined with the financial systems. And so from an efficiency standpoint, from a functionality standpoint, all the things we need to do well in a CAS practice, you almost have to be an expert not only in your financial systems, but in whatever operational or sales channel systems that client might be using. And so when you work in a niche, those tend to concentrate, and it gives you the opportunity to be that expert even on software that may be non-financial, but is so vital to the day-to-day in getting you information as that financial expert for your client.
So our CAS Benchmark Survey is now available on the CPA.com website. It's at CPA.com/benchmark. This year, the data and the commentary and the insights are really laid out in a way that we tried to, help firms use this information. All of the data from the survey itself is contained in the report in an appendix at the end. I know that one of the things you and I had talked about last spring was making sure that we did a great job of providing that data to firms so you could really, as a firm, benchmark yourself against what's happening in the profession. Right. On our website, we also have a dictionary of terms. So if you aren't sure what business insights is, or you're not sure how we defined CAS margin or some of the pricing kinds of concepts, there are so many questions and so many ideas in this report. All of that is available to us there. How do you plan to use the CAS Benchmark report, and how would you suggest that other firms actually use this report this year to take steps to move their CAS practices forward?
Well, there's a lot in the report. So I think the most important idea is as you read through it, you'll see some next steps and insights and to-dos that come with the data points, and pick a couple. Don't try to do everything all at once, but pick a couple, see what's most important to you and your team, and then take a deep dive into those. Do what you can to improve those metrics, see what that does for your practice, and then kind of work through that list. Trying to do everything all at once might be a little too much. There's a lot of information in the report.
There is a lot of information in the report. I think that for firms that are probably new to CAS, the insight that I would encourage them to focus on first is the one that says that having a strategy and a plan is such an important part of success. But I think that for firms who are a little bit further along the journey, they're going to be very excited to see what's happening around a decline in hourly billing as that primary focus. Is there anything else in the survey that you're excited about or that you want to share when you think about what you're going to take back? Where are you going to start these conversations with your teams?
I think the biggest takeaway for me really is that industry focus and the niching idea. It's so exciting to see other folks reporting on it. What we see in the marketplace is that's what clients really want from us. And our team's been working on it for a while, and we're going to continue to take a deep dive into that, not only looking at the financial side, but that operational side. What are good tech stacks? What are good add-ons? How can we elevate our level of service? And then how can we really move the needle on our FP&A and our kind of CFO trusted advisor work? I think there's a lot of growth available to us in our particular client base in that space, and really excited to see how the industry continues to move in that direction.
I think you just said the biggest part for me about the entire report, which is there's so much great data to benchmark yourselves against, but overall, the opportunity under the client advisory services umbrella just continues to be there. I think everybody's waiting for it to slow, and this is not the year that it's slowing. So once again, I'll just point out that the report is now available at CPA.com/benchmark. We hope that this is going to be as much use to other firms as it will be to yours.
That's great. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Becky.